So today, what's up, everybody? Casey Ship here with CaseyShip.com and the Hotmomz Lifestyle Podcast. And today, I'm going to talk to one of our very successful special clients named Gabby. And she's going to join us to talk about how she got started with the challenges and stuff like that. You know, like all of us do, we see that shiny object syndrome and we want to like go hard and get the body, whatever. Well, she found herself 30 days in stagnant, right? The honeymoon wore off. She felt like she got in her head. The motivation kind of dipped out. And since then, so she hit a ceiling. That's pretty much where she was at. She had hit a ceiling in her results, stuck at the weight, stuck at the low energy, no libido, just stuck, right? And to now, her words exactly, and I'll let her tell you, she's finally trusting herself. She sold her business. She started a new business, like dream business. She's now wanting to be intimate every single week. Her and her husband have like a whole day. She's wearing the clothes she actually loves now, and everything is shifted. So Gabby, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
You're so welcome. I'm excited about this one. I was not supposed to be successful. Hey there, Casey Ship here, fitness model, hormone expert, and a master energy healer. I help goal-oriented women clear out the reason why nothing has worked and finally step into their purpose and get everything they've ever wanted. So tell us first, just a little bit about you. Like, you've been in the middle of service. How many kids? How long have you been married? And what kind of work do you do? What was your past work? Just so women can kind of connect.
Yeah, so I was in the service for 8 years, met my husband in the service. We had our first son, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to be home with my baby, followed my husband's career, had a second kid. So I have a boy and a girl. How old are they? Oh my gosh, 4. they're 4 and 2.5. And we live in Northern New York, and my husband got out of the service, and we are navigating our way through entrepreneurship life.
With a 2 and a 4-year-old. Oh, yeah. How I remember that shit.
Yes.
It's so fun. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
That's us. So yeah, we're in the very beginnings of it, but it's exciting. We like being together. Yeah.
How, and your business. So what did you do?
It was kind of in affiliation with the military community. It was playgroup / workout group. So it was an affiliation. We did moms who are pregnant and postpartum. And it was really great for the stages I was in life. However, I felt like I wanted more. Like, I enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed being part of the community. It helped me through my journey. But I know that I was keeping it from being successful because it wasn't something I really, really wanted to do and I was really into. So,
because this is all about trusting yourself. I want you to teach women something today. How did you know? How did you know you really didn't want to do that?
It was my lack of motivation in it. I knew it could blow up. I didn't want to put my effort and motivation into it. And I would literally, to the point to where I would pull over, get into a parking lot somewhere and write and journal what I was feeling because it was festering. And it's a beautiful program. Like, it got me through really, hard time through my postpartum depression and things like that. I loved that community of women, but it just I was not motivated to bring it to fruition to what
I love this. I just want to stop you right here and tell the women what I just heard. So this is a woman. So take heed, because she said the sign that she wasn't in it was she lost motivation. She didn't have the energy for it anymore. And instead of judging herself, she looked into how she was feeling and went for what would make me happy. And that's what she did. She did not force and beat herself up that she should be feeling happy with it. What's wrong with her? And forcing herself into doing it, because that's what leads to burnout. Instead, she listened to her intuition. She listened to her heart, herself, what makes me happy, and then continued. So I just wanted to, I'm so sorry for interrupting. It's just, you're dropping so many nuggets, and I just want to point them out, Okay. So you realized, I don't want to do that. Then what? Like, how did you get into this new gig that's like so cool?
It was always in the back of my mind. I was already doing like the metaverse learning all these programs and stuff and how to do it. And some of it I was already implementing into my business, my affiliate business that I had. And I was like, if I could just do this, like, that would be really cool. This is what I'm excited about. Yeah. So I sold the affiliate to a fantastic woman. I know it's wonderful. She's really like the brand for it. So that made me feel good walking away. And then now I spend my time just doing my marketing agency and helping. It's business to business. I help small businesses and e-commerce and just get their brand out there. So,
God, this is so cool. Like, it reminds me of that quote that Jack Canfield said. that I had on my vision board early in like 2010. And it said, follow your bliss and doors will open in unexpected places. And that sounds like that's literally what you're doing. And I love it. Do you see that?
Yeah. It feels good. I mean, everything, I feel like I am where I need to be.
Yeah.
There is no, like, now it's my only block is me, right? It's
yeah.
just me against me at this point, which is.
Well, you mentioned entrepreneurial journey and you nailed it. It is a fucking journey. And that interview I just did with Bulletproof John, I mean, where he interviews entrepreneurs and gives you like the background, because nobody really talks about it. Entrepreneur, the journey, dude, it's like,
It's hard.
It's very hard, but you become such a fucking good human. It's like reaching your highest potential, just try to be an entrepreneur. And where do you feel like you got this hustle from? Because what I'm hearing is like you had affiliate and stuff like that. Like, have you always had that kind of like, not hustle, but I don't know, energy about you where you kind of wanted to do stuff like that instead of, a lot of women just like, I just want to be a stay at home and be a mom. And I don't really want to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Cause I definitely wanted to put, leaving the military, I definitely wanted to put a lot of my time and effort into my new baby, right? And have that time. But then I was still finishing my undergraduate with a newborn, right? So I was in school. And then after I finished school, I'm like, oh, let me be an affiliate owner. And I started that business, finished that. And I'm like, all right, now let me start my dream business, something that I really, really want to put my talent and skills into. And then at the beginning of this month, I applied for my master's program, my MBA program. So
I just want to cry.
It's always the next thing. It's always, yeah. And it's not growth. It's not like that I'm trying to challenge myself, but I just want to be the best.
And that's what it's about. It's because we can be a mother. But to be a mother, we want to teach our kids to be the most they can be. So you don't have to put your dreams on hold just because you've had a child, and you are the epitome of that right now. You're showing women like, hey, you can totally keep your marriage spicy. You're living the Hotmomz lifestyle.
Yeah. And it's wonderful because I was surrounded by wonderful people and mothers, right? Because you need that support group, right? Women need community. And I think I was just like, but I know I want more than what's in here. And not that it was a bad group or anything like that. It was, I'm ready to go on to a next stage, a next level. And surrounding myself with those people, like in Hotmomz, like in everybody, in that same mouse race, just trying to like continuously be better.
And be a mom.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's really exciting is I'm able, like, it's hard. Like sometimes, I have to recenter and be like, you know what? It's not your kids that are in the way. Like, just do that resentment clearing. It's not your kids that are in the way. Your husband's not in the way. Like, you're doing this for them. Right. But then I have to, like, how I get myself back into it is like, I'm showing them that you can do multiple things. You can be multiple things. You can do what you want, and, they'll have memories one day and be like, man, they'll have memories like, damn, remember when mom fucking freaked out, but at the same end, they'll be like, oh, she was hustling. Like she was,
Well, that, or they'll look back and go, when they're having their dark night of the soul and feel like too much is on them and feel like it can't be done, they're going to go, wait a minute, my mom did this. We were little and she did and I can do it too. I still tap into my great grandfather's energy. When some war had happened and he created something out of nothing and it set up 3 generations after him. And I was part of the grandchildren that he set up. And I'm like, I'm going to tap into that energy because he did something out of nothing with like 6 siblings in hard times. And like, so I think you're giving your kids something to pull them forward. I think they're going to be able to look at your story and go, dude, mom could do this. And so that means I can too, because I'm part of her, Yeah. Okay,
yeah, absolutely.
I could get in my feels. So, okay. So tell us, what was the main problem that you had prior to joining our program?
Was recognizing what my ceiling was. And so I'm going to use like an analogy. So the way it makes sense to me is when you get up off of a plane, you have that like weird space where you're trying to like, and that's what I was feeling like I just need to get to the aisle so I could stand up straight and get off this fucking plane. Like that's the best analogy that like what it feels like to me is like, let me just get out of here and get off this plane because it feels so claustrophobic and I'm too big for this plane. So recognize like what I guess metaphorically, what was that feeling? What was that ceiling? What was that stopping me from like standing up straight and walking off this bitch, you know? So yeah, recognizing what that was. And a lot of it was, I want to say trauma, but that could be interpreted.
Discomfort.
It's,
Maybe
it's
just
very,
discomfort.
yeah, yeah, that discomfort. Cause there was a lot of, I had a healing journey. So I'm 5 years sober. So in that sobriety journey, there was a lot of healing and forgiveness, but I did not let it go. I was still holding on to it. Like, I'm like, oh, I did that thing. I did the therapy. I'm sober. Like, I'm in tuned, but I did not release it from my body. And so that's where I was like, that's stuck on a plane feeling that I need to get up. I need to move. It was being held. So that was definitely, and I didn't realize until I booked a call and I was like, oh, okay, that's my limit.
Yeah, you mentioned like thinking that we were just a fitness workout program or something. That's what brought you in. And then you said,
Yeah.
whoa, I saw the questions you guys were asking and said, oh shit, this is way more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely way more. And making that connection of the two. Like I had the two, right? Like, okay, fitness, and then like, okay, I've done therapy and healing, but like marrying the two was that body connection and like going in.
Oh, this is you are so special. I love that you're so heart centered, and it's you're tapped into your intuition. And if any woman is listening to this and you're judging themselves, you know, because they're not like you, that's okay. The importance is Gabby never. If she would have judged herself, she wouldn't be here right now. So I encourage those listening that feels like, you know, you're not going to be as good as Gabby or whatever. She's showing you what's inside of you. So I'm just letting you know that. And those that are like Gabby, I think they're going to be like, dude, it's fucking me. I think a lot of women are going to connect with you. So, okay. Why did you choose to join our program specifically over any other one?
Definitely the community of women, right? And it's judgment free zone that's too soft. You know, that's I mean, Hotmomz is so much beyond that. I think it was definitely the support, like just being on that call and feeling that genuine care. Like, no, bitch, we're gonna get you to thrive. Like, we're gonna pull you out of this. We're gonna get you to thrive. We're gonna get you through it. We're gonna get you out of it, and we're gonna be there every step of the way.
Who
Like with
enrolled
any,
you?
oh my gosh, I think
Michelle,
it was
Nicole.
Nicole.
Oh,
Nicole enrolled me, and then I worked with Gracie for the first 3, and I've stayed with Gracie. I bought 2 months of one-on-one coaching with her. So it's been real. But yeah, just that having that genuine, like nobody's judging me if I'm like, hey, I didn't do my homework this week. All right, girl. Well, cool. Well, what was it? You know, let's get past that. Let's work through this, you know, and it just wasn't judgy. It was very nurturing, very caring.
because we've been there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being that's what we're trying to heal from, is that fucking mom who wants to shame you and guilt your ass. We're trying to clear that.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's no shame or guilt, it's like, okay, sometimes we need 3 weeks, sometimes we need 3 months, you know? So I
Yeah.
love that. Okay. The community, I'm with you. I'm with you, girl, because you mentioned, you said, I've been surrounded by good people. And when John was interviewing me, we sat there for a minute. He goes, no, Casey, think about it. Why do you think you've been able to do all this? And I go, oh my God, it's the people. I've had
Mm-hmm.
these little people in my life that back me. And that makes the biggest difference. Or I would have been just like my brother, on drugs, in prison, probably dead. You know, we need these people in our life. We need people to speak life into us, to back us. And it's not bullshit. It's not like, I believe you can do anything. No, we don't. It's not fake hype. You know, it's real
Mm-hmm.
shit. So anyway, I love that. Okay. Was there anything in particular about the program that really helped you? And why do you think it was so effective?
It was the energy clearing, for sure. It was the first time that I had, and not that I wasn't against it, but it was the first time that I actually went in and studied it and listened. Just, I'm going to sit here and listen and work through it.
Was it
Because
Reset
I'm like,
Restore?
yes, that was resilient as fuck, and the Reset Restore. Those were the first two that I started with. So yeah, those two were like like just sit and listen. Because I knew I was holding a lot, you know, and even now I can recognize that, like, ugh, there's something here. Let me go back and clear some stuff. So just really opening my mind to that. And like, because I hear it, you know, I'm just like, oh, maybe that's not for me. It's not for me. But like, actually just shut up and listen. If you're going to try anything, like try it here, because it felt safe.
Man, it's almost like I wish I could give women something to lower their inhibitions when they join. Cause you know, we've got that energy of like, Can I trust you? Am I going to get fucked
Yeah,
again? I'm
yeah.
not gonna I'm with you, because you can ask the people that work with me, my body workers and my whatever. I go in a lot of times and I have that defense up. But if sometimes I go in when I'm really ready, I know my defenses have to be down and I fully trust and whatever. And man, we make these breakthroughs. And that sounds like that's what you did. You just, hey, my way. Obviously, I've thought I've cleared a lot of shit, but maybe there's something else here. Let's do it.
Mhm.
I love that. Like I
Yeah.
feel so much today. This is so good. Okay. There's a lot of love, I think, and gratitude that you put out. And I love that. I want to acknowledge that. So why do you think that was so effective? I mean, you've done therapy, you've done military shit, you've done fucking like AA, I'm sure. Like, why do you think this was effective? Because it was safe, you said?
Yeah, I felt safe. I knew I would whatever in the courses was it was genuine, was safe, was I'm like I didn't know where to go, right, to make sure like, okay, who's legit, who's not legit. But this is just where it's where I felt safe. And I think it was that mind body connection, like and I had always like I heard in therapy, like, oh, like you need to connect your mind to your body and like let energy
How?
clear. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I was just like, okay, like, yeah, I'm in my head, I'm not connected to my body, but how do we do that? And so it was the clearing. It was definitely being in a safe space, doing it from home and
Oh,
just putting that time to like release and let it go.
and this is some women like not a lot. They feel like, well, I'm going to need more accountability. This is like a lot of these are videos. Like, how am I going to do it? And I'm like, I try to explain to them the best I can, but you just said it. You sounds like you liked it because it was just you and the information. Nobody was there to look at you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it sounds
Yeah.
like that helped you actually, it being on video and you were doing it in your own space and time.
Yeah, I was able to be more vulnerable for sure. I've tried group therapy where they did like trauma releasing exercises and you get your body doing, the shakes, and I could not relax. But being my own space, creating my own space, having it just the content there for when I need it or for when I'm ready to get to it, I was able to be vulnerable and let that go. And then I could just go shower after.
Yeah.
Like it was the full like, it didn't even have to be anything like super special, like absolutely quiet, light the candles, do all these things. No, it was just, you know what? I got 20 minutes. Let me just go through this 10-minute video and see where
You're
I go. Even if it's just a little bit, even if I got like, 2% better out of it, it was just that 2% I didn't have before. So it
absolutely.
doesn't have to be perfect. And then with doing like the tapping, now I just do that in the shower. That's like my time in peace. And I just whatever comes up, whatever negative stuff from the past or things that I held on to during the day, I can just wherever I feel it, it doesn't have to be perfect. And that was another thing too. Like the healing doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be
It's the
set
intention,
the
babe. It's the
ambiance or
intention.
anything.
It's the
Mhm.
intention. It's finding home wherever you are. And your home is in you. And it's finding
Mhm.
that wherever you are. It could be like in coming a hurricane outside and you're in a hotel room. You just nailed it. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just setting it. It doesn't have to look any way or feel any way. It's just what it comes up for you. Because doing the tapping, I'm like, well, where do I tap? And I would just tap where I feel it. I feel it over here, or I feel it here, or I feel it in my knee. Wherever I felt it is where I knew I needed to release whatever was pent up. So just going, yeah, trusting yourself, that intuition, and going with what you feel and honing in on that. That was the biggest thing that I've gained. And now I could take that into my parenting, like this is, what? I think this is what my kid needs, or I need to fix my shit so I could be better to them. Like, and then even in my business, like, this is kind of what I'm feeling over here. This is what I need to tack first today.
Yeah. It's interesting. You're the first one who caught on, who like used this tapping, because it's not something that I teach. I just try to give y'all all kind of fucking like hundreds of resources, but I love that you connected with that one. Like that's a huge thing. Like you're becoming a self-healer. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. It was it was a very empowering. Like it gave me control over, yeah, over how I feel and
Yeah.
how I move through the day. It gave me control. But over
Beautiful.
like the things that fucking matter. Like
Right. 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 Right.
so,
Right. Totally. Okay. I love
yeah.
that. So as a result of implementing this mindfulness, this emotional intelligence, this tapping into this higher part of yourself so that you can do things out of alignment and life gets easier and more supportive, what's been the outcome?
Definitely more self-awareness. I'm gonna have to say self-awareness first with what I'm projecting out into the world, right? Like, okay,
But
I'm
how
being
does
kind of
that
bitchy.
but how does that change? Yeah, because women don't
Yeah.
understand awareness. They're not, they know things like yelling at my kids. Cause think about like you before you knew any of this, very 3D, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when you say awareness, like tell a woman, like, how will she know she's aware versus unaware?
Like when I do this, it's like, oh, you stop yourself. Like you're able to be like, hold on, I'm not in the groove, I'm not in flow. Like you can stop the bad attitude before it like sabotages you, right? Like you can, yeah, like for me, I catch myself like, okay, you're about to go into bitch mode. Like bring it back. What do you need? What do you need to clear? What do you need to face? What time do you need more self-care? Do you need just to sit back? So for me it's stopping myself from snowballing into this shitty attitude and then just being like, I'm just gonna walk around like a grumpy little bitch and just stomp around, like it prevents me from having longer bad days. Like I'm just like, okay, I could turn one shitty day into a shitty 20 minutes and just take time to get over it.
Yeah. Cause if it's in your body longer than 20 minutes, no, I'm not trying to put fear here. That's why
Mhm.
we give people the clearings. Cause if it stays in your frequency longer than like 20 minutes, I mean, science proves that it's going to create a thing. You know, that movie, Disney movie, Inside Out with the feelings?
Oh yeah.
You know how that's happened? Like, that's why they get upset. She's like, no, 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 don't touch it for too long. You're touching it. Now it's going to be sad.
Mhm.
And over time, it creates that little girl's reality. And so that's what you're saying is you're now aware of bitchy, angry, which always means you're hurt. You're not getting what you need. And so you're like, oh, here it is. What does this mean? And then you go give it to yourself and then boom, you're back into alignment. And now it's moment to moment. Now your future, it's like the future that you want is informing the now and causing you to change that. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Fuck yeah, man. This is a good, okay. And I will take questions. Those of you that's watching, like I know you probably have questions. We will ask Gabby if we have time. So, okay. How has your life changed? I know you got a dream job now, but like give these women, like, how has your life changed because of this new awareness and self-love and happiness and all this shit, man?
Yeah. I
How's-
think I see it more in the, it's not like this big, like, like all like my house is all of a sudden under sunshine all the time. It's more in the little things, like it's more in what I'm receiving more goodness. Like I'm part of a really great like agency community, like a marketing agency community, and they are so supportive. It's like we don't compete here, but they're just having those people who are constantly literally like feels like they're holding my hand, like getting me through this journey. Right. And so that gift of being around those amazing people. Even I had a neighbor, and this is, I mean, this gift stands out to me a lot because it was when I really needed it. I was on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, let me see if I can find like a winter coat. And it was my neighbor, like in the next street over, and she's like, oh, I'll just bring it to you. And she just gave it to me. Like it was really nice, Columbia ski jacket. And I'm like, no, let me pay for it. She goes, you're my neighbor. You're my neighbor. I'm not going to do that. And she just gave me, and most beautiful maternal thing. I'm like, God, when was the last time I was given like a jacket to stay warm? Like it was just so special. And it was just such a nice gift that I'm like,
from her
and
heart.
I was like, oh, thank you. Like, thank you, universe. Like, this is so beautiful. Now I see her more often and, got to know a neighbor. And so, yeah, that's how it's changed my life is just
Connection.
the connection,
You're not alone
the
anymore.
gifts. Yeah. People caring for me. Right. So I've opened myself to receive
Love
blessings and
and love.
goodness and love. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because you're becoming that and you're getting back what your good merit because you're putting in the work every day. Not every most other people, 95% of the people are going around, they're blaming the politics, they're blaming the economy, they're blaming the bitch in front of them that stopped too fast, they're blaming this lady online, they're blaming something. They're not taking
Yeah.
responsibility. Like you going, hey, why am I angry? Let me fix that. Let me give myself something. Obviously, I'm insecure right now. So you're taking responsibility. You're doing the work. You're being courageous and you should be blessed beyond because not everybody does that. And that's the real work. It's not what we do for work to trade time for money and be slaves. It's what you're doing. It's the spirit work. It's the heart work. That's the God work. That's it. That's the key to life. So thank you, Gabby, for being that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't take action, stayed in fear, maybe I don't need that, and didn't join the program?
I would be restless. I would definitely be restless. I'd just be trying to find my way. Like Yeah, I guess that's the best way to think about it, is being restless and low energy and just depleting. My energy wouldn't be going towards anything fruitful. It would just be the daily grind,
Resentment.
resentment. Yeah, just dragging my feet, like wandering, like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll just
Let me try this
clean or
next
find a
program.
project. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let me find something else, or let me just, yeah, it just wouldn't, nothing would have switched on. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's like that movie Soul. I know I keep referencing Disney,
I
but it's
love
like
that movie. That movie, I
Soul.
cry. I
Me too.
cry all
Every
the
time.
time
Yeah,
watching
I
that.
cry watching Moana. Right when they start singing, I'm
Oh,
like,
I was just
oh.
gonna say that. I was just gonna say Moana. That one, I can't even listen to it in the car. Like my daughter loves that whole all the princess stuff, and I'm like, I can't listen to this one today. Like,
Yeah, Pocahontas gets me, like Lion King, like so. But Soul, in that movie, if you haven't watched it, we do that. Like, wouldn't you? Isn't it funny? Like, you know how they'll show the little shaman sitting there? It's literally what we do. We go down, and when the person allows himself to be seen, like the spirit team sees them. And they see them with all this, they kind of look scary, like
mhm.
dark, and they've got this, they're scary. But when they start working on them, they see their current life where they're just going through mundane shit and like sitting there
Yes.
working too much. And then they're like calling on his spirit. When he wakes up and comes into his body, he's like, whoa, fuck this shit. And then he gets happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do. It's like, if you don't
hmm
say yes, you stay lost and scared and like dark, in the dark. It's crazy. And I love how the sand, it shows like the clearing, the sand coming off is awesome. So, okay, if there's anybody watching this, it's on the fence about booking the same call that you did, filling out the application, booking a little 15-minute chat to speak to us about how we can help, what would you say to them?
This is your life. Get ready for your best life. If you want your best life, if you want to lead your best life and be happy on this planet, like you need to invest in yourself. There's so much more out there than what's in front of you, and like this is like a calling for you to do that. Like if you want more, if you're thinking about it, you already know you want more. Just call.
What if they're worried about, well, I've already tried so many different things.
Well, sure. So have I. Everybody's tried something, right? So like if you've already tried so many different things, then just try one more.
Oh, what if,
Just try one more.
and then the last thing is, well, I've just spent so much money, they're afraid to spend the money because they don't think it's going to work.
Well, there's money everywhere. And that was another big thing that I got from Hotmomz was I cleared a lot of money blocks. There's always you're gonna find money. There's money everywhere. There is no deficiency in money.
Like air.
Like,
Women, though, it's hard. Like, I'll see their comments. I'm a single mom. How dare you? You don't understand. And they're so hard in their reality. They're so in their story they can't see, right? Because I've been there. I've been really, really broken. And I'll look
yeah,
at people that seem like they have money. I'm like, it's easy for you. Must be fucking nice. Like, I've been that bitch, right? And I'll say that the money is a smokescreen to unworthiness. The mirror it's just a smokescreen, because it's like what Gabby's saying is, it's put the money aside. Are you willing to figure it out so you can change that reality, so that money, you don't ever have to say no to a program because of money? If you just put the money aside, do you want change? Yes. Are you willing to shift how you believe in blah, blah, blah? Yes. Okay, then just
yeah.
figure out a way to fucking do it, because the money, we show you how to clear that shit out, because it's all in your heart.
Mhm.
It's you receiving and being worthy and feeling worthy. That's all money is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
When I called, at first there was a sticker shock because that's where I was mentally with money. And I just did a little bit. I'm like, well, let me get this program first. And then I did an add-on, and then I did an add-on. Then before you know it, I'm in the master class. But during that process, I was able to clear shit. I was able to heal and get there. So I had already done like maybe 15-20% of the content by the time I had bought my way into the master class. Right. And just for perspective, when I signed up for the master class and I started like putting money into the program, my husband had just gotten out of the service. So we didn't know, like, we're like, I guess we need to find some income. You know what I mean? Like there was that secure two paychecks a month wasn't there. I had invested into my marketing agency, but I knew this was something I knew I needed to do this for myself to be successful. So there was a lot of, scarcity mentality to where I was like, oh, like what, how am I going to do this? But then I knew like I just had to like free fall into it. I needed to to do it. So there was, so I don't want people to think like, oh, well, she must have just had the money, she's already started a business, and she has all this money to like for things. Bitch, no. Like, I did not like, but once you get past that fear of like scarcity, or I don't know how to pay for it, like it's worth it. You know what I mean? I mean, you think of what else you spending money on, like, okay, don't buy a purse this month, don't do, don't get your nails done. Don't, just like there's
Right.
ways, if you're really like have like money scarcity mindset, like you can figure it out.
And the
Because
fear,
I did. I mean,
is
I had a
trauma.
lot of money into 2 different businesses. I
Right.
had 2 businesses and managing money for that. And my husband was getting out of the service. So it was, this is something we need to do. And talk to my husband. He's like, yeah. He's like, you need to do what you got to do, because he saw in me like where I was struggling,
And what did he say? Like, what'd you tell him? Like, hey man, I'm not happy, or hey man, I don't like my weight. Like, what did you tell him?
Yeah, it was pretty much point blank. Like, I'm not happy where I'm at. I don't know what it is. Like, I have so many good things and opportunities in front of me, but I'm not happy with where I'm at, or I cannot see what I have.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, I'm like, maybe if I, it was a combination of weight or combination of fatigue, I just was not happy and I knew I needed to do something. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I can't help you. So if this is something you want to do, you need to do it. And I'm still trying to get him to join Hotmomz.
Hey, just keep, that's one of the hardest parts is when you step into this, because as you're in the mastermind, I teach differently to you girls than I do anyone else, because you have calibrated to a higher level of energy and understanding. And the woman has to rise up in her goddess self, her highest self. Then the man can follow. Every woman, though, tries to do opposite. If you'll just do this, then I can be this. No, that's like fucking wounded, feminine, nasty shit. So you keep transcending, he will step up in this magnificent divine masculine role, I promise. But healing codependency is like, nobody talks about this. It's this sneaky fucking thing that will keep you miserable and stuck thinking that. And I think it's because of the like patriarchy that we come from, saying the man has to lead, the man has to do this. And that can be any further from the truth. And it's not saying the woman, it's not saying neither one is more important. I'm saying the woman, if she's allowed and feels safe enough to fully step into her power, her intuition, and her love and her softness. Woo, you talking power. The man can actually step in.
Yeah. So when you were saying that, how, the woman leads, this made me think. So I grew up in a Catholic home. I'm raising my children around that faith. But a lot of times in Christianity, there's the woman usually leads the family to the faith, right? To the spirituality, to that journey.
Yes.
It's always like,
Mary.
I want to say, I'm throwing a statistic out there, but it's probably 98% of the time, it's the woman who is like, I know this was me, like, I want to get married in the church. I want to keep my sacraments. I want my children to be baptized, all these things. So it's the woman takes that lead in spirituality anyway. So so for me, when I had the call with Nicole, she's like, well, how does your husband feel about it? Like, is he on board? And I'm just like, well, yeah, right. I led him to this. I need this for myself, right? Like I had taken that role, and we see it all. I mean, we see it in households all the time with whatever the spiritual practice is, it's the majority of the time the woman. So yeah, making this decision, like, just talk to your spouse and say, hey, like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Right. This is what I need for me. And everything overflows, to the rest of the household.
And that's what the problem is. Most households are fucked up, and there's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of insecurity. The man he thinks that if she does this, then she doesn't need him and she's going to abandon him. And it exposes a lot of shit. But we don't usually enroll those women. The women that are like, well, I just need to ask, like, you can just tell legit that it's that kind of household. We don't really start them in Hotmomz Mastermind. They start somewhere else. So it's the women that are in the mastermind are a lot like you. Everybody has that. If they are married, the man really respects her. There was another girl that's like, I run a business, I do all this. And she kept referring to her husband. I'm like, if you really had ownership of this business that you claim is yours, you would run the business. You wouldn't include him on every little thing. You would know your credit score. You would know the money in the account. Not shaming, but I'm saying, like, see this as a problem so you can step into your power and be the businesswoman that you want to be. Because Skip will tell you, and you're probably the same way. Like, I need Skip for belief, support, emotional support. Sometimes I'll run things by him when I'm feeling insecure, but ultimately I make all the decisions. I am very intuitively led. It's if he just supports me and lets me be free, Casey, like we crush it, right? But I'll need him doing what he's doing to support me, like holding the ballerina so she can twirl. Is it that way with you and your husband, or do y'all consult? Does he consult you in every decision you make in your creative business?
Definitely stepping into Hotmomz. Like our marriage went through, I mean, it went through a dip, and not because like as a recourse from Hotmomz, like, but there was just things that were exposed that like I had a lot of codependency. We're like, well, if you get healthy, if you fix your sleep habits, then I'll sleep better. Right. So going through that, we did go through marriage counseling. And I mean, I was tapping into Hotmomz a lot during that time, like just to like
Relationship
but
by
it,
design.
yeah. So it gave me a lot of more appreciation for my husband, listening to your lives and doing the relationship by design. And I'm like, damn, like I have a fucking amazing man by my side.
You do.
And I
I can
didn't even
tell.
realize it. I did not even realize it. Like, he's like, oh, cool. We're going to do this. Cool. Like, let's go. Like, not doesn't even question what I do, but it did take me, it took me doing the relationship by design and like recognizing like, yeah, my husband,
His greatness.
he's
His
the
greatness.
fucking man. Like,
Oh,
and again, like we had, you know, to kind of get through that. It took me a while to recognize it, but once I did, it was like we could just breathe easier. But and then I could catch myself going into this like, this resentment or this, like, nope, he's your partner. Like it takes the two. Yeah,
yeah.
he's yeah, shout out to my husband.
And I appreciate him too. There's so many. That's why we have a whole thing in Hotmomz, like on the testimonial page, like husbands of Hotmomz, because we just appreciate them so much. But it's when the woman can fully step into her power and drop all that shit. And the relationship by design changed my life. That's why I have it in the course. I'm like, I've got to share what has helped me, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out, man, to the good dudes. And you know, you've got a son, I've got 2 boys, and it's like providing them what we're giving them via our work. And it's just like, this is what, when we leave this earth, we left it way better than we found it. And that's success, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I appreciate you so much. Let me see if we got any questions. Now, is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you really, you know, if you're sitting in their seat or you're watching, or maybe you want to know something, is there anything you can think right now that needs to be shared?
I think every woman should at least do a course. Like
Yeah.
do something like, you know, if
Pre-launch.
I wish
Pre-launch. I would say pre-launch. We created pre-launch where, you know how you did resilient as fuck?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever done Elevate. So what we did in Reset and Restore, I know you did. So we set up pre-launch for women who like want to put their toe in the water. And well, there's 2 things I'll share because you may not know this. So pre-launch, and they can start, it's got the food test. It's got day 1 of Reset and Restore, day 1 of Drop the Motherfucking Weight Struggle. It's got 2 neutralizers, I think, for like fear, anxiety, and something else. And then it's got a lot of videos from Elevate, kind of like the emotional shit that you're talking about. It's got a lot of that in there. And then I think one of the videos from Resilient is Fucks in there. So it's like a sampler course. Okay. Super good deal. I think it's like $197 on caseyship.com/shop. But there's something else we're launching. I don't think you even know about this, where we wanted to offer the mastermind content to everyone and not give them mastermind access, but they can get access to the courses and like some of the stuff, but not full mastermind access or mastermind community. And we wanted to do it for like monthly. And we're thinking of doing it between like $400 to $600 a month. And that's kind of going right now. It just depends on, it's not to the public. It's when we talk to them and for whatever reason, but just saying that that's a good idea. What you're saying is something, if they could just do one thing to calibrate like the pre-launch or resilient as fuck or something, that would probably help.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Get a taste.
Get a taste, man. All right. Well, cool. Well, Gabby, thank you. I know your time is precious. Thank you so much for sharing this. You had so many nuggets. And you're so heart-led. And I saw you this morning, just like crushing it. You are your face at the brand and what you're going to teach through marketing. I mean, it's going to be a game changer for women like us. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for your time and just all the deep breaths. I guess that's how I can just, I don't know. That's just how I feel right. Like you're just a big deep breath.
That's amazing. That's so cool, man. Because those that know me, like from my past, because people think it's been easy for me, but if I can do it, any fucking body can do it. So I love that you see that in me. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Talk to you soon in the mastermind.
All right. See you there.
Bye. this is it. I've got a free training, caseysship.com/register. Be sure to grab that and then join my free Facebook group and just reach out. Struggle is not required. So hit me up, caseysship.com/register. Talk to you soon.